I'm going to call the regular Bucyrus City Council meeting for May 20th, 2025 to order at 7 p.m. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Myers. Here. Deshawn is absent. Slater.
Here.
Moritz.
Here.
Sherrick. Here. Hickman. Here. Me.
Here. You have minutes from the May 5th, 2025 regular council meeting as well as the May 15th, 2025 special council meeting. Does anybody have any questions regarding the minutes?
I'd like to make a motion to approve both of those collectively.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Myers made the motion. Mrs. Slater seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Granting permission for visitors to speak. If there's anybody that would like to address council, please come to the podium, state your name and address.
Greg White, 1125 Hillcrest Drive. Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight is a pivotal role for council members in addressing the issues facing our city. I am not saying that people don't deserve a pay increase, but to what point are these raises getting out of control? Many people have stated that these $4.25 an hour increases are above the norm. It seems that our government body just keeps on giving to the demands of others. When will this all stop? How much longer can the city money last? We have been told many times that the money's there, but is it really there? When will the state come in and take over? Because our government bodies spend all of it. Remember, the city revenue is only a calculated prediction. It is not guaranteed. We should be saving money for projects in the years to come, but the Finance Committee doesn't want to bring it back to the table or go over it. Can we save money? Can cuts be made? Are there other options for services? Yes, but Mr. Myers stated that the administration is working on that, yet we see nothing on this progress. And don't forget that back in December 2024, Mr. Myers, chairman of the Finance Committee, didn't want to hold meetings on the budget. Even the town hall meeting was for that purpose, but the people got the dog and pony show on the water lines. That was a farce, as everybody said. I believe it's time that this council start working for the taxpayers of this community. Quit using the same old narratives, innuendos, and BS excuses. It's time to work out the problems and issues that face this city. Or is our government body going to keep on taking money out of the taxpayers' pocket, which most cannot afford what they are paying now? Taxes, utilities, food costs keep going up. This government body is distressing the city economy. Inflation and rising costs, lower wages, income inequalities, industries in decline, debt problems, ability to meet basic needs. The more money the city shells out, the more that the taxpayers have to give to the city. Since there seems to be an issue with the wastewater treatment plant, these delays cost money. How much more is it going to cost the residents on their utility bills? How long before we are going to see industry come back to Bucyrus? These are key issues that are not being talked about. I would like to know why. It is time to get to work on this and not just say no report, or we'll wait and see what happens. The citizens are watching, they're learning, and will make the right decision when it comes to their money. Every one of you took a pledge to the citizens of this community to work for them. Is that what you were doing? Thank you for your time.
Any other additional public participation? Seeing none.
Mr. Finkhauser, you didn't take a breath from yeses and nos to public speaking, and I was trying to abstain because I was not here for that other meeting, so I'd like it made note that I abstained from that last vote before we jump to the next thing without a breath.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with what you're talking about.
You don't know that we passed minutes?
The minutes that we passed right now,
Yeah,
you said.
you jumped straight into public participation. Go ahead, Mr. White. You didn't even take a breath in there.
I think she's saying she wants to abstain from those.
You want to abstain
From
from the
that
minutes?
vote.
We did have a vote, and we did have,
Yep. And you didn't stop to get anything. There wasn't even a break. You didn't even ask if anybody wanted to talk. You get a motion, you get a second, then it's, do we have any
oh, you wanted to
discussion?
have, you
There was
wanted
no
to have discussion after the
well,
second.
You didn't even know, yeah, after the second, you're supposed to have time for discussion. You didn't give time for that, you went straight to the vote. You said, say aye, say nay, and where's our public participation? You didn't, I couldn't interrupt.
So
And
prior.
Mr. White was
Prior to
talking.
Mr. Myers making the motion to accept the minutes, I did ask, does anybody have any questions regarding the minutes? And there was silence.
That was prior to the motion. I wanted to abstain. I didn't have a question about the minutes. I was abstaining from voting. So I would like it made known on the minutes that I abstained for the vote.
You didn't vote at all on the minutes, is what you're
Well, I
saying?
tried to abstain. You kept talking. And you get mad when people cut you off. So I waited.
Okay,
And Mr. White started talking, so I'm going to be polite to him. He's not behind here keeping things from going.
I'm just gonna let Miranda note in the minutes that you say you abstained from voting on the minutes. And then we're gonna continue on here with the communications and petitions. We have a Kim Winkle and Joel Delavern with AVITA with a presentation at this time. If you guys could come to the podium.
Well, thank you for having us. My name's Joel Delavern. I'm the Plant Operations Director for AVITA Health System.
Michael, Vice President of Operations at AVITA.
And we are here today on two requests for consideration. I'm sure everyone's familiar with the Bucyrus Hospital and the vacant properties around there. We are looking to the future to build on the three vacant lots on, oh, there we go, yeah. Okay. Those are the three vacant lots off of Plants Way, and they are City Lot 1753, 1147, and City Lot 1146. We're here to look at reclassifying those parcels from the urban neighborhood residential district properties to general business district properties. And for our future development, we're looking at, if you get one more, that's kind of an overlay of the three lots with the new proposed parking space. And you'll see to the left there, that is a new development we'd like to have. It's a 15,000 square foot orthopedic and therapy building. And the second order of business we're here for is to discuss the vacation of Pleasant Hill Drive, that alley. That's approximately 325 feet, the northmost part of that alley. In vacating that alley, as you can see on the slide there, we would be installing a new road. It would connect the vacant part of Pleasant Hill to Plants Way. Now, all of this is in consideration now. It's in planning development with an architect firm, with ADINA, who would be our design build we have chosen for this to move forward with. Looks like if all goes well and everything is approved, we're looking to start possibly the end of this year. And it would be probably an 11-month duration, 11 to 12-month duration of construction. And that's just our development. People have come across some some renderings. This is what the building we're hoping would look like. Color scheme probably a little different, but that's just a general idea of where that would set on the Plants Way, or on the Hill Street vacant properties. And that's all I have. Do we have any questions from anyone?
I've got a couple.
Yes.
On your drawing where you've showed, that's the one where the street was put in there, Mike? There you go. I'm assuming that the new street there is not to scale. It's not going to be that much wider than what's currently there.
No, actually, that's kind of funny. That's actually a drawing that he sent us.
Just making sure.
Incorporated in here, 25-foot wide.
Okay, do you plan on it being a 90-degree, a full turn to come off there, or curved, or unknown yet?
It's kind of unknown at this
Okay,
point.
I just want to make sure that you've talked with the garbage folks and the fire department to make sure that the two largest vehicles that would ever need down that street are going to be able to traverse that okay.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of shown as wider.
Yep.
The existing alley is only 15 or 16
Yeah.
feet. That's 25 to help the radius turn.
And then my last question is, where Pleasant Hill Drive currently comes out to Hill Street, will that still exist? That'll be an entry into the parking area, is that correct?
Yes, that would
Okay.
be it. Pardon me? Are you saying from Hill Street?
Yeah, so the long rectangular box there
No,
that's being
that will actually
vacated.
be lot. That would be
Right,
grass.
so coming off of Hill Street, you'll still be able to drive that way to get into your parking lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions?
Any other questions?
Ms. Sherry?
Yes.
So you're getting rid of Pleasant Hill Drive, which is a street. I know it's narrow, but it's still a street.
Yes.
And you're going to just use Plants Way? You're not doing a different street?
We're basically, Pleasant Hill that we're vacating will become a lot. As you see it in the red squared off box there,
I see it, yeah. I also pulled up the map on it.
Plans Way won't be affected.
that Plants Way will not.
So we're not getting a different street instead of Pleasant Hill, we're just going to use Plants Way that,
They're gonna curve or turn Pleasant Hill to
and bring
come
you
down
on
to
to
Plants
Plants Way.
Way.
It's being relocated.
It was
The portion
realized.
that's being vacated is gonna be that new section that's gonna be built.
Can you back the slides up, Mike, to this one? I think that one shows what
Might
they're
show a
talking
little bit,
about.
yeah. One more.
When we spoke to the city already, they require that we put in an alley since he would no longer be able to get through there.
For trash, fire. Maybe one more. That probably shows it the best there.
Can you get up there and point at that, Mike, what they're changing with the street?
What's that?
Can you get up there and point at where they're changing that street over?
Yeah. This portion here is being vacated from the right-of-way down 325 feet approximately. And this lot here is basically going to be the new street right-of-way.
So
You'd
show where the
actually-
cars
We'd
are
actually
driving.
need the whole 50 feet because of 25 foot of pavement and then the curb, sidewalk, if we are putting, I think we require sidewalk in now. And then with the curb returns on both ends.
Show where the car would come in here on the southwest corner where they would turn and then,
Coming up Pleasant Hill, they would turn here. The intersection's gonna be a little bit wider because of turn radiuses for trash trucks and fire. And then they would come up here and hit Plants Way to go north or south. Or through, I don't know if you guys are gonna have access straight through or not.
No.
Probably not.
That would just be into our parking lot, so.
And of course, this section will be excavated for the new parking lot.
And then, Mike, just as a quick question, there used to be, was Pleasant Hill used to be cut that way anyway? Is that what we're seeing, the vacated on the
No,
plot?
those were paper alleys.
Okay,
They were never improved.
gotcha.
And this alley here has a sewer in it There is sewer and utilities going up Pleasant Hill, but they're gonna remain permanent easements. Because there's also a Columbia Gas service main going down through there.
So the cars, instead of driving straight north and connecting onto Hill, they're gonna make a right-hand turn and connect over to
Plants
Plants Way.
Yes.
But the extension of Pleasant Hill through behind Holy Trinity would still be there, you just have to take a left.
That's Willard Street.
Oh, that's
Willard
Willard
Street,
Street, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's not really getting anything through.
Yeah, it looks like it's like an alley front.
Well, it's been the bus route because the road keeps getting closed down without information. We like to close it right when the buses are going through in the morning, the trash trucks, and open it up after.
Looks fine to me. Does anybody have any other
Any other
questions?
Now, do you need anything, I know it's in plating, do you need anything other than was talked about in plating to continue?
We do need a formal letter requesting those lots to be vacated, just so we can have it to get the discussion going. So probably that map, and then also a letter from your office
Okay,
requesting
we'll do
it.
that tomorrow.
Okay.
Mike, we need to change R3 to general business, right?
Yeah, those 3 lots need to be switched. Yeah,
So we need a motion.
that's part of that
to make
paperwork
planning
that'll be
probably,
submitted.
Mr. President.
Joel, do you have a timeline for the vacation plan yet?
They're working on it, they're working on it right now with the engineers. I would say probably June or July.
Okay.
Mr. Mead, did you want to make a motion to refer the rezoning of them lots?
Rezoning
To
the
plating.
2 lots from an R3 to a GB.
Is it 2 or 3?
It's 3 parcels.
Is it 3 lots?
Yeah.
Do we need to wait till we get the letter for that or not? No, that can be referred to.
Just referred to plating.
Well, there's a bunch of steps that has to go through for rezoning, so it's better to start it sooner than later.
Yeah, I got them right here.
I'll second his motion.
Mr. Mead has made the motion to rezone 3 lots for the AVITA expansion to plating. It was seconded by Mr. Myers. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. I think that's it.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, we have a letter from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control. We don't have to do anything unless we want to intervene in this, and this is for the market at Pickwick Place. I'm assuming it's a renewal,
No, it's a new application.
brand new liquor permit.
Yeah, if I could, Mr. President, to save Miranda the time, I know this is a form letter that comes from the state with every one of these, so there's really no useful information on the letter to be read unless somebody wants it to be read. But I would like to make a motion to forego asking for a hearing or objecting.
And I'll second that.
Mr. Myers has made a motion to forego having any hearing for this liquor permit application. It was seconded by Ms. Sherrick. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So that's that. And then I need a motion to accept the presentation and the letter that we just had.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Slater made the motion. It was seconded by Ms. Sherrick. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Now we're moving on to standing committee reports with plating committee, Mr. Me.
None at this time, thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for plating committee? Seeing none, public lands and buildings committee, Ms. Sherrick.
Just finalizing a list of.
I'll have that for you Thursday.
And other than nothing.
Does anybody have any questions for public lands and buildings? Seeing none, health and safety chair is not here, so
Myers. It'll be Myers.
Mr. Myers.
I've got nothing to report.
Anybody have any questions for health and safety? Seeing none. Finance committee again, Mr. Myers.
We just had one piece of legislation that came out of committee at our last meeting that will be presented this evening. That's the end of my report.
Anybody have any questions for finance committee? Seeing none. Economic development committee, Mr. Hickman.
I have no report this time.
Anybody have any questions for economic development committee? Seeing none. Service committee, Mr. Moritz.
I, myself, and the president went to a meeting last night with the Airport Commission. They informed us that FFA is under review of their plans that they have, so they are reviewing those. And there's also a May 24th pancake breakfast on May 24th at the airport, I believe in the Hordes hangar.
That's this Saturday, right?
Yep, 24th. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe at, what, 10 o'clock or is it earlier than that?
8 to noon.
8 o'clock to 10?
8 to noon.
8 to noon, thank you. I left it with my bike.
Does anybody have any questions for a service committee? Seeing none. Special ad hoc committee for rules of procedure. I'm not sure who the vice chair is of that committee.
I'm thinking it's Mr. Hickman.
I think it might be me.
Mr. Hickman.
Yeah, I have no report at this time.
Does anybody have any questions for that ad hoc committee? Seeing, Mr. Moritz.
How's that going? I think it's still all still in your court, right?
I'm almost done with the first section, we'll have it by Thursday.
Sweet.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none. Special ad hoc committee for property maintenance, Mr. May.
We'll be having a meeting on the 27th. That's it.
Do you know what time?
5 o'clock?
5.
Yeah.
5 p.m.
That is next Tuesday, 1 week from tonight.
Yep.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for the special ad hoc committee?
Yeah, did we set that at the last meeting?
I couldn't hear you.
Did we set that at the last meeting?
No, we did
I
not.
haven't had an opportunity to contact all of you yet.
I guess I was a little premature on that.
Most
Yeah.
likely
So when
will
was
not
this
be there.
meeting?
27th, 5 o'clock.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, seeing no other questions. The special ad hoc committee for the zoning map, again, Mr. May.
To be determined on the meeting. No report.
Does anybody have any questions for the ad hoc committee? Seeing none. The mayor's not with us, so no traffic commission report tonight. And then I need a motion to accept committee reports collectively.
Make a motion for that.
I'll second.
Mr. Moritz made the motion, Mrs. Slater seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Report of city officers. We do not have a mayor's report. We do have a safety service director's report.
Did you want me to read it?
I'll go ahead and read it. It's dated May 20th, 2025. Thank you, Mr. President. I apologize for my absence this evening as I had prior commitments. One, I would like to introduce the possibility of an income tax levy of 0.065% for the swimming pool. This would generate an estimated $201,683.16 annually for the pool only. The cost to the average taxpayer would be approximately $32.99 per year. Those making $100,000 yearly would see a cost of approximately $65 per year. This levy would go towards repairs and chemicals for the maintenance and upkeep of the pool. I would like to thank Greg White for this idea. I would like to refer an income tax levy for the swimming pool to the Finance Committee. I had spoke to the service director earlier this week about this, and I thought he had told me they were going for a property tax, not an income tax.
He talked to me about it the other day, and he did.
He
very
did say
much
income tax?
Income tax, yeah.
Okay, that's what he's got in writing here, so if anybody wants to make a motion to refer to that.
Before you do that, I believe it should probably also, as well as finance, go to public lands and buildings.
I would agree with
I
that.
will make that motion to refer that topic to public lands and buildings and finance.
I'll second that.
Mr. Myers made the motion, Ms. Sherrick seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
It has been referred, it passes, it has been referred to the Finance and Public Lands and Buildings Committee. Continuing on with the letter. 2, Hannah Crawford third graders visited City Hall on Monday, May 12th. Miranda, Bonnie, Kaylee, Lisa, and Councilwoman C. Aaron Sherrick did an excellent job of explaining to them the ins and outs of city government. They also visited the police department for a tour, and I would like to thank the police department for their input into this visit. I would like to also thank all of the students and staff at Hannah Crawford Elementary School for allowing the city of Bucyrus to introduce these students to local government. 3,
Can I interject on that one? They also went to the fire department and the library, who also talked with the kids, which I don't think he realized that. But yeah, the kids were in 2 groups, one of which was at the fire department and the library, while the other one was here, and then they flip-flopped. And so they got a full view of our city, so it'd be nice to thank the fire department as well, and the library.
Okay, duly noted. 3, the North End Fire Station, 606 North Sandusky Avenue. Bid opening was Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. There were no bids. I would like to see this go back into committee to discuss other options to do with the property. So since it passed, we do have to refer it again to get it back into committee.
I'll move to send that back to public lands and buildings.
I'll second that.
Mr. Myers made the motion, Ms. Sherrick seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, it passes. North End Fire Station is going back into Public Lands and Buildings Committee. Number 4, the farmland bid openings were Thursday, May 15th, 2025. All the land is going to be farmed. The city received at least 1 bid for every property. Number 5, the Unger Park Trail ribbon cutting was Friday, May 16th, 2025. There were several city officials and past city officials in attendance. Cole Potts of the Crawford Park District and Crawford County Chamber of Commerce did a nice job putting together this event. Number 6, the All Miller Park Pool will be opening for the season, weather permitting, this Saturday, May 24th at 12 p.m. A reminder that if the outside temperature is below 70 degrees, the pool will not be open, and if there is low patronage, the pool will close at 3 p.m. Please visit the All Miller Park Pool Facebook page to keep up to date on all the items regarding the pool. Number 7, a reminder that all non-emergency city offices will be closed on Monday, May 26, 2025 in observation of Memorial Day. Monday's garbage collection will be picked up on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. Respectfully submitted, Tommy Starner, Safety Service Director. Moving on next, Mr. Law Director, do you have a report?
I do not have a report.
Does anybody have any questions for the Law Director? Seeing none, moving on, the Auditor's report, Ms. Lewis.
On May 6, 2025, Service Director Tommy Starner and I traveled to Columbus to speak before the Government Oversight and Reform Committee regarding the 2026-2027 state budget, specifically advocating for the increase of local government fund percentage from 1.7% to 2.5%. A brief history of the LGF. It has been in existence for 80 years. After the recession, previous Governor John Kasich slashed the LGF to 1.66% from 3.68%, resulting in a loss of $1 billion a year when adjusting for inflation to local governments and counties. The current 2026-2027 budget that has passed through the House of Representatives has increased the LGF from 1.7 to 1.75. Though not as large of a hike as we would have liked, it is an improvement we are thankful for. All of that to say that we, on a city level, we are actively trying to bring state tax dollars home to our citizens where you'll be able to see a direct benefit. The end of April meant the closing of tax season, our largest revenue month of the year. April 2025 shows an increase in collections of 22%, or $301,371.95 over April 2024. It is important to bring to your attention that $227,049.42 of that increase was from years 2023 and prior, meaning the large percentage of increase is more of an outlier. The actual percentage of increase is 5.5%. Still, it is a testament to the hard work of the Income Tax Office that in the month of April alone, they were able to locate and bring in $227,049.42 in tax dollars from previous years. This is another avenue the City of Bucyrus has utilized to directly increase revenues. Thank you for your time.
Does anybody have any questions for the Auditor? No referrals?
Nope.
No referrals, okay. Now, since there were no referrals and no questions, we're going to move on to the Treasurer's Report dated April 2025. It is here with us. I believe we are just going to wait until the end to accept all of these reports collectively, so we don't have to have a double vote. So then moving on, we also have a police report. Chief Neil Ossenheimer, who is going to be retiring very soon. Mr. Myers, did you want to read his report?
Sure. In April of 2025, Bucyrus police officers were involved in a total of 735 incidences. There were 147 traffic stops in which 19 tickets were issued. Of those tickets, 5 were for driving under suspension. 1 person was arrested for operating a vehicle while intoxicated. Officers made 1 felony drug arrest. Officer responded to 16 domestic calls, 0 overdoses, 3 assaults, 11 traffic crashes, 1 private property crash, 39 vehicle lockouts, and 6 larceny complaints. Dispatchers handled 6 emergency medical dispatch calls. On April 8th, 2025, Bucyrus PD detectives conducted a search warrant at Smokables, 155 Stetzer Road South, regarding an investigation into illegal marijuana trafficking. Officers arrested Mitak Alamanari for trafficking in marijuana. He was later indicted by the Crawford County Grand Jury for trafficking in marijuana. During the search warrant, officers seized a large amount of marijuana illegally being sold, cash, and psychoblin candies. An investigation is ongoing. The Bucyrus Police Department would like to remind our citizens that while recreational use for marijuana has been legalized, it is still illegal for marijuana to be sold in any location that is not a licensed dispensary by the state of Ohio. Chief Neil Ossenheimer.
Thank you for reading that, Mr. Myers. We also have with us here a report for the month of April for the Bucyrus City Fire Department.
Should we read that first page? It just has a tracking summary of how many calls it responded to in the month.
Yeah, Ms. Sherrick, could you go ahead and read that for us?
Okay, the tracking summary for the month, because it's a long report in case anybody's never seen one of these. The city of Bucyrus had 136 calls. Holmes Township had 10. Bucyrus Township had 3. Todd had 1. Likens had 1, and Dallas had 1, totaling up to 152 times that they went out for fire calls or EMS, fire and EMS.
Okay, thank you for that summary report, Ms. Sherrick. this point in time, I need a motion to accept and file all the city officers' reports.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Sherrick has made the motion, Mr. Moritz has seconded, all in favor?
I had a question on the treasurer's report. Do we normally have that discrepancy at the end? I just had a question on what that was.
No, we normally don't. It was, we had noticed, if you remember from my earlier, from the last council meeting, our computers and printers crashed. So we had that discrepancy, but we had to move on. So we had to correct it this month.
Okay, all right, I appreciate that.
Okay, back to, Mr. Myers has made a motion to accept and file the city officers' reports.
Wasn't me.
No, Ms. Sherrick and Mr. Moritz was a second.
I apologize. Ms. Sherrick has made the motion. It was seconded by Mr. Moritz. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The city officers' reports have been accepted. Visitors' input regarding, what's that? They've been accepted and filed. Visitors' input regarding reports of standing/special committees and of city officers. Are there any visitors that would like to speak regarding those? Seeing none, consideration of proposed legislation for the first time.
Proposed ordinance 28-2025, it's the transfers for the Waterworks Fund. Amending and supplementing ordinance number 40-2024, being the annual appropriations ordinance for 2025 by decreasing the current balance in the contractual services line item by $139,000 within the distribution category within the Waterworks subparagraph within the Waterworks Fund, and increasing the current balance in the debt retirement line item by $139,000 within the debt retirement category within the Waterworks subparagraph within the Waterworks Fund, and declaring an emergency. Proposed ordinance 29-2025, that's the repeal of ordinance 46-96, has to deal with snow streets. Repealing and not replacing ordinance number 46-96, creating chapter 355 under Title 7 entitled Parking, under Part 3 entitled Traffic Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Bucyrus, entitling same as Snow Street Emergency Procedure, the same providing the city with procedures on how to declare a snow emergency, which streets are affected, the length of the emergency, and the establishment of a parking ban on streets so designated.
I need a motion to accept those as a first reading.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Myers made the motion, Mr. Moritz seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
It passes. Public participation, any member of the general public may present their input or comments on legislation that's been read for the first time. Is there any public input? Seeing none. Consideration of proposed legislation for the final time.
Proposed ordinance number 25-2025, that's amending 12-2023, which is the minimum staffing for the fire department. Amending and supplementing sections 135.02 and 135.03 entitled Control by Service Safety Director and Powers of Fire Chief respectively, under Chapter 135 entitled Fire Department, under Title 5 entitled Administrative, under Part 1 entitled Administrative Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Bucyrus, and declaring an emergency. Proposed resolution number 216-2025, it's the Doug Wilson Memorial Plaque. The following resolution enacted by the City of Bucyrus of Crawford County, Ohio.
I need a motion to accept those as a final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Slater made the motion, Mr. Hickman seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed? No.
It passes. Those have been accepted as a final reading. Public participation, any member of the general public may present their input or comments on legislation that's been read for the final time. Is there any public input at this time? Seeing none. These are all referred back to their originating committees. Committee report on pending legislation. Proposed ordinance 25-2025. Council as a whole is favorable to that. Proposed ordinance 28-2025, Finance Committee.
Finance is favorable to proposed ordinance 28-2025, and Health and Safety is favorable to proposed ordinance 29-2025.
Public Lands and Buildings Committee.
Public Lands and Buildings is favorable to proposed resolution 216-2025.
Further consideration of pending legislation. Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed ordinance 25-2025 as an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Me made the motion. Mr. Moritz seconded.
Me,
Yes.
Moritz,
Yes.
Sherrick,
No.
Hickman,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
DeShawn is absent, Slater.
Yes.
Ordinance 25-2025 is duly adopted. Ordinance 28-2025 for the second and third reading of proposed ordinance 28-2025. Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of the caption and text, and declare an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Sherrick made the motion, Mr. Moritz seconded.
May I ask a question for the vote?
Yes, you may.
Just so it's stated on the record, the reason why this is needing to be an emergency is for what purpose?
It's for moving the money to pay for the payments for the debt for the bond.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sherrick,
Yes.
Moritz,
Yes.
Hickman,
Yes.
me,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
DeShawn is absent, Slater.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed ordinance 28-2025 as emergency?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Slater made the motion. Ms. Sherrick seconded.
Slater,
Yes.
Sherrick,
Yes.
Hickman,
Yes.
me,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
DeShawn is absent, Moritz.
Yes.
Ordinance 28-2025 is duly adopted. Final reading, resolution 216-2025. Do I hear a motion to adopt the resolution 216-2025?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Sherrick made the motion, Mr. Moritz seconded.
Sherrick,
Yes.
Moritz,
Yes.
Hickman,
Yes.
me,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
DeShawn is absent, Slater.
Yes.
Resolution 216-2025 is duly adopted.
Mr. President,
Mr. Myers.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session with the city law director and council president per Ohio Revised Code 121.22, section G2, to consider the purchase of property for public purposes and to consider the sale of property at competitive public bidding, as well as section G3, conference with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or imminent court action, as well as section G4, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Myers has made a motion to go into executive session with the city law director and council president per Ohio Revised Code 121.22, section G2, to consider the purchase of property for public purposes and to consider the sale of property at competitive public bidding. Section G3, conferences with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or imminent court action. Section G4, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. It has been seconded by Councilwoman Slater. Roll call vote, please.
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
Do we need the auditor at all for this?
No, not for this stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Myers?
Yes.
DeShawn is absent. Slater?
Yes.
Moritz?
Yes.
Sherrick?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Okay, we are going into executive session at 7:45 PM.
Exit executive session.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Myers made a motion. It was seconded by Mrs. Slater. Roll call vote.
Myers?
Yes.
DeShawn is absent. Slater?
Yes.
Moritz?
Yes.
Sherrick?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Okay, we are back from executive session at 8:37 PM. And at this point in time, we're moving on to old business. Is there any old business?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the YMCA as a donation,
If it's still being
if
offered,
it's still being offered as a free donation,
and allow the administration to accept it.
and allow administration to accept it.
Mr. Mercer has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It was seconded by Councilman Me. Roll call vote, please.
Myers?
No.
DeShawn is absent. Slater?
Yes.
Moritz?
Yes.
Sherrick?
No.
Hickman?
No.
Me.
Yes.
Okay, we have 3 no votes and we have 3 yes votes, which means there is a tie. I, as the council president, am going to break the tie and vote yes to accept the YMCA property and allow the administration to accept it if it's still being offered. So that passes. Additional old business. Seeing no additional old business, new and miscellaneous business.
Yes, I had a Mrs. Tooman get a hold of me, and it seems the Lock property across the street from her, they were spraying it the other day and the wind was blowing. So I can't find any legislation pertaining to don't spray inside the city limits when the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour. So I don't know if that needs to go to health and safety, or is there anything we can do about it, or I'm just not sure. It was a concern.
Is there damage to her property because of that?
No, but it was spraying all over Garnet Court.
I was gonna say, and some people are allergic to those chemicals. So if it's getting sprayed and the wind is taking it immediately, it could, just about anything to somebody with health issues.
Roundup's bad in general for everyone, so.
To that point, when I used to work for the city of Shelby, we do have to, when I was working for them, and we would go out and spray weed killer, the wind couldn't be over 5 miles an hour.
People have to
And
be
we'd have to put the
licensed.
directions down, write a piece of paper out, and do all kinds of stuff to actually
People have to
do
be
it.
licensed to apply it.
Yeah, I had to be licensed to apply it.
Conditions you have to meet. The question was if there was any damage, then that would be an insurance claim that she could file against whoever sprayed its insurance against the environmental.
There was a lot of grass that was on the outside of the field that was dead, because she sent pictures to me and stuff of it. So I don't know if there's anything we can do for it as a city. I mean, it's common sense. Any experienced farmer knows not to spray their fields if the wind's blowing. But I don't know what these guys were thinking.
Was this a farmer spraying a field and it blew into the person's yard, or was this a private
It
person's
blew all the
yard?
way down Garnet Court, so that's where the wind was blowing out of the south to the north.
And you're talking the field to the south spray was blowing into the homes to the north?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know anything about chemical spray laws in Ohio.
Do we know if that was like a private company or if it was like the farmer in their field or?
I'm thinking it was a farmer, so he had a sprayed,
Most farmers aren't spraying weed killers. So, I mean, it all depends on what was sprayed, who sprayed it, what was sprayed, where was it sprayed. There's a lot of questions.
yeah. So you want to let me investigate it a little bit more and see if it goes anywhere?
Yeah.
Then I can bring it back next
If we
week.
know what we're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not sure either, so I just wanted to bring it up to the council.
Just let the law director investigate it for right now. Any other new business? Mr. Moritz?
I'd like to apologize, it goes under miscellaneous, I'd like to apologize for missing Thursday's meeting. schedule problem with me. I totally forgot about it, and I was actually one of the ones who wanted to have that special council meeting. So I do apologize for council for missing that meeting, and the general public for not being here for that.
Okay, and Mr. Myers?
Do we have, do we need to suspend the rules?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
But you can just suspend the rule you want to suspend, which in this case I think is 111.19. Is that right, Miranda?
I think it's 111.11 for legislation.
Gotcha.
111.11, to bring forth legislation to the council floor that has previously not gone through committee.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Myers has made a motion to suspend the rules due to 111.11 to allow a piece of legislation to come before full council that has not gone through committee. It was seconded by Mrs. Slater. Roll call vote, please.
Myers?
Yes.
DeShawn is absent. Slater?
Yes.
Moritz?
Yes.
Sherrick?
No.
Hickman?
Yes.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, we have 4 yes votes, 2 no votes.
Wait.
5-1.
5-1. Sorry.
5 yes votes, 1 no vote, so we do have enough votes to suspend the rules. Okay, rules are suspended for the
You have a copy of that today.
piece of legislation.
Do we have copies of that?
I would need a recess to prepare those copies for you.
Can we go into a 10-minute recess at 8:43 p.m.? We're back from recess at 8:51 p.m. At this point in time, we're going to have a first reading on ordinance 30-2025.
Proposed ordinance 30-2025, an ordinance authorizing and adopting the contract with the International Association of Firefighters, Local 1120, retroactively to January 1st, 2025 as it pertains to pay and declaring an emergency.
I need a motion to accept this as a first reading.
So moved. Second.
We have, Mr. Myers has made a first, Mr. Moritz has made a second to accept this as a first reading. Is there any discussion? At this point in time, I'd like to pass the gavel to Mr. Myers as I would like to have discussion as council president. Okay, this is a contract for a collective bargaining agreement with one of the city's unions. It is only 2 pages long. In past, anytime we pass a collective bargaining agreement, the actual collective bargaining agreement is always attached as an attachment to the ordinance, which is not what is here before us tonight. I don't know why it's not attached, but because of it not being attached, I personally don't feel like we should accept this as a first reading. I feel like this whole process at this point is not being done as it should be and as it's been done in the past. That's the end of my discussion.
Are we allowed to have input from the fire department, what they think about?
You have the floor.
Oh, I'm asking if we can.
You have the floor.
Would any of you guys like to come up here? No, I just want to make sure it's okay.
You have the floor. I'm fine with that.
I've done my own research because I feel like this process has been drawn out, kicked down the road. So I contacted SERB State of Ohio Employee Relations Board. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with what they gave me or has done their own research, but this process has been messed up from the very get-go. For one, once an executive session is called, the only time a CBA, collective bargaining agreement, should be coming out of the executive session and passed on to any type of committee if that committee has been deemed the new bargaining membership as deemed by the city. You guys got computers, if you want to pull up ORC 4117.10, Section B, I'll read it as it is printed. And this is where Sir directed me. The public employer shall submit a request for funds necessary to implement an agreement and for approval of any other matter requiring the approval of the appropriate legislative body to the legislative body within 14 days of the date on which the parties finalize their agreement. I'm going to pause there. We finalized as a union and as the membership April 4th, 2025. Unless otherwise specified. But if the appropriate legislative body is not in session at the time, then within 14 days after it convenes, the legislative body must approve or reject, not pass around, the submission as a whole. And the submission is deemed approved if the legislative body fails to act within 30 days after the public employer submits the agreement. The party may specify that those provisions of the agreement not requiring action by the legislative body are effective and operative in accordance with the terms of the agreement, provided there have been compliance within Division C of this section. If the legislative body rejects the submission of the public employer, either party may reopen all or part of the entire agreement. The collective bargaining agreement, this is my addition, was tentatively agreed upon April 4, 2025 between the city administration and the executive board of Bucyrus Firefighters IFF Local 20. That is when the timetable started above per the Ohio CERB. So as of May 4, 2024, as it appears, this collective bargaining is in full agreement through the state of Ohio. The next step through the union is to file an unfair labor practice against the city of Bucyrus once again, unless we can squash that right here to approve this collective bargaining agreement and all agree that this thing is in effect as of May 4th, 2025.
Which would make me very happy.
Again, I have some other things I'd like to address since I'm up here. First, to Greg White, calling out to see the collective bargaining agreement his last time up here, saying he wanted to see it. Just like some of you guys have said up here. This negotiation process is confidential until the ratification by both parties, meaning that City Council as well as the membership of the union has to ratify this. It was ratified by the bargaining unit the Tuesday after April 4th. This contract can have all the signatures on all the pages, but unless the ratification process has been completed by both parties, negotiations are not considered closed. So it is no longer public record, or it is not public record until the ratification process.
Which is why there's an attachment.
And I'm going to talk about some things because, like I said, it's under my understanding that this contract is in full effect. I know that there has been some stuff stated, and I'm going to address it. I've contacted Sir, asked if I could speak on some things. I know it's supposed to be it's supposed to be quiet until the ratification process. In my mind, that passed May 4th. Just so you all know, members of the public know, the ones that have come up here and spoke. During negotiations, we tried very hard to keep our staffing at 6, maintain 6. We even negotiated and tried to get a 0% pay raise this year with wage reopeners the next 2. We were told by the administration that City Council would never ratify a contract if the number was 6 in Article 20 of the collective bargaining agreement, which has to deal with minimum staffing. So once you see the CBA, and I'm sure most of you have in that executive session, you can see that our number in there is now 5. That removes an entire piece of apparatus from service. With that being said, and once again, I'm going to be addressing Greg White, the union in fact did not get offered or discuss or settle on a $4.25 pay increase, as you have stated like the rest of the city employees have, and union and non-union. The union settled on a 1.5 pay increase, which is a 33-cent per hour increase across the board, meaning a topped-out firefighter paramedic with all the years' experience is now making $24.43, up from $24.10. And since everyone's so worried about the fire department overtime, that is an increase of an overtime rate of 49.5 cents. still nowhere close to the $4.25 pay increases Greg White has spoke of. This is my final point, and it deals with the repeal of the manpower ordinance. For those city council members and members of the public that have stood in these chambers and called for a reduction in staffing and to a repeal in an ordinance that protected daily fire department staffing that sounds and sends the same message as the defund the police movement once sent. You call for business and jobs to move into the city, but in the same breath, you want to take city services away, not only from the business owners, but also from the residents and visitors. You call for a weaker staffed fire department, but want to increase our workload. You call for a reduction, but expect the same level of service. Our ISO rating just got reduced solely based on the staffing. That will now be reversed and homeowners insurance will start to rise again. I'm only one person and I only can do one job, just like those guys behind me. But you've just taken a life-saving and a property-saving set of hands out of the equation when you call for these type of public service cuts and reductions. You've ultimately undone what you put in place to save your future selves from. Does anybody have any questions on anything? The contract? At this point, I'm open to anything.
I would just like to say it was a pleasure to meet you.
I would agree with same with you, but this whole process has been a waste. Oh, I've watched these things online. I've sat in here, $4.25 coming up here, and yep, let's go. Reduction of the fire department, $1 or a 1.5% pay increase, 33 cents. 33. Write it down, because I know you'll be up here talking in a month that we need to reduce staffing, and 33 cents is way too much to pay these guys. 100% of the population, not in this town, in the nation, in the world, is going to call upon us one time. Not one of us don't get carried out feet first by somebody at the end of our life. And the coroner calls the fire department. We've got to pronounce 100% of us will all have to rely on a paramedic at least once. Anything?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so where are
We're
we
still
at?
in the discussion of the motion to accept as the first reading.
Any further discussion? All right. So we have a motion to accept this as the first reading in a second. Roll call vote, please.
Myers?
Yes.
Deshawn is absent. Slater?
Yes.
Moritz?
Yes.
Sherrick?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Motion carries. Motion to return the gavel to the president.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Slater and a second by Mr. Mertz. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, the same.
Okay, so now we've accepted the motion or we've had the acceptance of the first reading. Is there any public participation regarding legislation that's been read for the first time? Is there any additional public participation?
Robert Taylor, 411 Plymouth Street. I just want to say that just that whole conversation that just took place is a glaring example of the issue with unions and government being combined. These guys are expected to vote on something that nobody in the public's seen. A contract. Now, I'm not disputing what the union president just said. Nobody knows but the people that were in the negotiation. And that's not a very big raise, especially compared to what this council's already done. Understandable. You probably do deserve more. However, we're going to talk about the if going down to 5 cuts out a piece of equipment, let's just go ahead and go down to 4. We're trying to save money here. The city's not obligated to keep people employed. The taxpayers are not obligated to keep people employed. We're going to get up here and talk about safety, and then we're going to talk about backing the whole defund the police movement. 2 totally separate things going on here. Just not even a fair comparison. And since we brought up the police department, Those guys have been working shorthanded, minimum of 2 for how long? This is not me being against the fire department. I've said this before. It seems like every other department in this city has made a sacrifice for the financial well-being of the city. But yet, going back to a minimum manpower of 4 seems to be a major sticking point, and we're going to use the verbiage of, well, it's for your safety. Well, I'm not in the business of government keeping me safe personally. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Mr. Myers.
I just really want to quickly say, and I think, Mr. Taylor, you probably know this, but I think a lot of members of the public may not, so I do want to clarify. The members of this council also did not participate in any of the negotiations once. And I want to make sure the public's aware of that, because there are a lot of accusations that get thrown around about decisions that we make and such. The administration is who does the negotiations with the union. It's only after it's been agreed to that it's brought to us. So I want to make sure that, we're not being looked at, look, you made this, or you did this, or you did that, so.
Is there any other public participation at this time? Seeing none, we will proceed to a vote, which would be regarding the waiving of the second and third reading. It requires a 6 vote of yeses to waive the second and third reading, so any no vote would hold this ordinance to a first reading. So for the second and third reading of proposed ordinance 30-2025, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of the caption and text, and declare an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Myers made the motion. Ms. Sherrick seconded.
Myers?
Yes.
Sherrick?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Me?
Yes.
DeShawn is absent. Slater?
Yes.
Moritz?
Yes.
Okay, we have the required 6 votes to waive the second and third reading. For a motion to adopt, is there a motion to adopt proposed ordinance 30-2025?
Second.
Mr. Myers made the motion. Ms. Sherrick seconded.
Myers?
Yes.
Sherrick?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Me?
Yes.
DeShawn is absent. Slater?
Yes.
Moritz?
Yes.
Ordinance 30-2025 is duly adopted. Is there any additional new business at this time?
Yes. I want to thank and give a good farewell to Zion Hickman, as this is his last meeting. I would have brought cake or something. I should have done that. So I wanted to say thank you to Zion for his service. And to follow up on that, if this needs to be held to the next meeting, that is completely understandable, but since we'll be without a chair, I know that appointment has to go through the president, and I would like to formally announce my interest in that. I've had discussions with the partnership and Mr. Timberlake, and I think we have a good rapport, so I think it would serve well.
Okay, Mr. Hickman, I as well would like to thank you for your service on Bucyrus City Council. Mr. Hickman is only stepping down because he is moving out of the ward. Is that correct, Mr. Hickman?
Yes.
Is there any other additional new business at this time? Mr.
Just to
Myers?
join in, I had a note right before the motion to adjourn, I was going to say the same thing, and as a resident of the third ward, you as my council representative, thank you. You did a hell of a job. And I'm going to come right out and say, when you first announced your candidacy, I was like, I'm not so sure about this guy. You proved me wrong. And so I want to say you did a hell of a job, and thank you. And best wishes to you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
And as far as the third ward opening, if anybody's interested in the third ward position, the Republican Party is accepting applications. You can go to their Facebook page and get the address to the applications. Is there any additional new business, or we're gonna move on to?
A reminder that the pancake breakfast is Saturday, the 24th, from 8 AM to noon, out at the airport.
Get the time right, yeah.
You're
Beat me to it.
When is it, the 24th? It's not fly-in, it's just a breakfast.
You can fly in if
They're
you
doing
want,
a
I
fly-in
guess.
too.
Are they flying in?
Yeah.
No, so what time is it?
What time is the?
Just ask Chris.
9-ish?
Just ask me, I'll make up
8
the
AM
time.
to noon.
8 to noon.
I get it. It's 9:10.
9:10?
On the clock right now.
Oh, what time is it right now?
Mr. President.
Wait, do we defer?
I have a referral to the traffic commission. Somebody approached me and asked if we could tweak the traffic light timing for lap night. Apparently, traffic was backed up past the hospital because of the traffic lights.
That doesn't have to go to traffic commission. You can just go to Tommy and they can make those adjustments.
Administration's allowed to do anything with the traffic, so they don't
Yep.
shout us.
Yeah, then actually, when they would have Cedar Point Day for the Honda employees, they would set all the lights to flash during the whole day, so.
Cool.
I'd like to make a motion to
Well, we got
excuse Mrs.
referral.
DeShawn.
Oh,
And I'd like to second that.
okay, Mr. Myers has made a motion to excuse Councilwoman DeShawn, is seconded by Councilwoman
Sure.
Sherrick. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Councilwoman DeShawn has been excused. Referrals, please.
The rezone of AVITA lots from R3 to general business to plating, income tax levy for swimming pool to finance and public lands and buildings, and the North End Fire Station to public lands and buildings.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Myers made a motion to adjourn, was seconded by Councilwoman Sherrick. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We're adjourned at 9:11.